We still have a minute. So it's 9 o'clock. I'd like to welcome you to the Idlewild Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. It's 9 a.m. and the first thing that we do is approve the agenda. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Discussion?
Second.
I'd like to make a note that we want to talk about Nick schedules proposal for the Como PRV project. So we'll probably do that under maybe old business signature items somewhere.
Okay.
in.
I'll add my eye to the approval of the agenda.
How do you
Aye.
vote? Yep, 3-0 on the approval of the agenda. And we go to, next on the agenda at 9 o'clock, it's still, approval of the minutes of 9/4/24. I'll make a motion for discussion of the approval of the agenda.
I'll second that.
What are seconds? And I have a few things. First thing is, at the very beginning where it announces who's at the meeting, I have video proof I was at the meeting, even though I'm not listed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This must be a red
It was from the,
From the
Okay.
prior 2
Yeah.
weeks, yes.
alrighty. In spirit. Okay, yeah.
Well, then the very first thing is that I make a motion.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, I know it was from the previous meeting that we used them.
We knew that, just needs to be added in, that's all.
Yep, okay.
We all,
Then, next under item number 3 on this, approval of manifest, I think we need to add the word hardware. Nancy Cole seconds the motion in adding the payment to Silver Lake. We don't pay Silver Lake, it doesn't accept checks, the lake itself. Silver Lake hardware
Hardware.
does.
hardware.
Oh.
We need the word hardware.
Oh. Oh, jeez. Okay, very good. Could pay the lake.
Right, if you said to us,
I'll
we
never
need
cash
to make a
it.
payment to Silver Lake, we know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
the minutes might not.
Yeah.
Stock it with more fish, that's a payment.
Under number 10, I have a question, signature items.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4 bullets down.
Yep, I-
Water hookup application results.
No address.
What, do you know what that means?
It's that sheet that you guys signed.
Say it again.
Oh, so it has a bunch of different hookup applications on it. I'm just, what did we sign?
There was a hookup
Show.
application results that you guys signed. Cause I'm assuming that's the next step, like after we get the engineer back and you guys review it.
Results of the engineering study.
Right.
Okay.
But when I read that, I was wondering, was that associated with a particular address, or is this more generic covering multiple locations?
No, it was the last one that we got, this was for not Burn, I keep thinking of Burn.
22 Hotwell.
Nope, it was the Pecora,
Ah, okay. 42 Burn.
Burn, it is Burn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was for
It's the
42
corner
Burn.
of the
Yeah.
corner of Sarnan.
So can we stick 42?
Sure can.
Yep.
Okay. So it was associated with one particular address?
Just one,
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's what I thought. So
Yep.
what's the address? Okay. Gotcha.
Excellent.
Okay, okay, ready? Under number 11, additional DPW items. The second major bullet has a list of roads. The last bullet on the list of roads has Salins, and there's no E. It's SALINS.
No ES, just
No
S?
ES.
Okay.
And never go by my spelling of the roads.
Don't go by mine, obviously.
If you copy like what I wrote down.
Your fault.
You never know.
That's all I have.
I can
Okay.
name them, but I can't spell them.
Everything you pointed out is exactly what I circled, so
Uh-huh.
onward.
Wow,
Yep.
all right.
So all in favor of the minutes as modified?
Aye?
Aye.
3-0.
Wow, I thought it'd have a lot more than that, honestly.
Nah,
No,
it's just
management's a hard.
minor.
Okay, at 9:04, we'll go to approval of manifests. And the first one we have is an operations manifest for $2,739.79. I'll make a motion to approve this manifest for discussion.
Second.
Thank you for putting in a total of checks.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
debit.
I think it's easier,
Yeah,
yeah,
good.
Yep.
totally.
That's nice.
Oh, so down here, this is what I did on my spreadsheet when I printed it out. Okay, so that's what we're doing right here for totals, yep.
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
before it would say, this is your printout?
Yes, and this is for this week, yeah.
So this is what we get, is now it's amount of checks, EFTs, and debit, that's
Yeah.
the total.
Gotcha, that's, okay.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep,
perfect.
We're making a payment and the restrooms are at the end of the summer cycle. I think, from memory, was it the middle of, was like September 15th that the restrooms stayed in? Do you recall off the
are
top
they
of your head?
still there, or?
They are still there.
Yeah.
They are, I think
Yeah.
they're gonna remove them at the end of the month.
End of the month. Because
Yeah.
I looked at the invoice and it looked like October 1st was the date, but it wasn't
Yeah.
clear.
Because there were four-week increments, as I recall,
Right,
Right.
so, okay.
I can send an
We'll
inquiry.
probably have the swim wraps out
Uh,
before the restrooms are removed.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you need, speaking of which, we're doing the manifest.
Right.
Rafts.
Yeah.
Doug's mentioned something to me about the rafts. which
Yeah.
I'll bring up.
Okay.
I gotta, yep.
So any further discussion on this $2,739.79? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Next, we have a water manifest for $3,216.08. And this is the water system thanking the operating budget for paying its bills in August, and it wants to reimburse
Yes.
the operating budget. And that's for the electrical use, which in the month of August, the operating budget paid the bill of $1,275.57, so the water system's reimbursing the operating budget for that. Granite State Analytical to test the water, drinking water, not the pond water, was paid $161, and the rest of the expenses were $1,779.51. Did I make a motion for that?
Not yet.
I'll make a motion that we approve this budget, this manifest,
Second.
Aye.
3-0,
Aye.
Aye.
3-0 on that.
I missed one on the regular operating manifest. I just had a question under, it's called Other Debt Service for $336.45, and I'm looking at the bill, $336.45, and it's from DBF Direct. I don't
Checks?
recognize this. Is that what that is?
Checks.
Bank
Checks.
checks?
This is,
Okay.
that's
Checks.
that deluxe,
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Just
That's
out
all
of
I wondered.
curiosity, what would Francine charge? Do you know off the top of your head, was a big delta there?
There's a big difference. I think Francine is much more
yeah, it's,
cost effective.
But doesn't seem to be actively in the business, so we can't risk not having the checks.
Right.
Yeah.
There's the cost of that.
Is this for both?
but this isn't a payment to Francine. This is a payment
To
that
Deluxe.
Deluxe took out
Right.
automatically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the bank took out.
Yeah, that was, I saw that again, and I was like, I don't quite understand what this is all
Yeah.
about.
How
Okay,
many
so now I
checks do you
got it.
get for $300?
she got 300 checks.
Buck a piece.
Buck a piece, wow.
Wow.
It's worth money itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, DPW report at 9:09.
So-
Morning, Jeff.
Yeah, good morning. Let's jump right on the Doug. I gotta get his number. I couldn't seem to find it in my phone.
I'll get it to you.
Okay, thank you, because I wanted to touch base with him yesterday because the weather's really nice this week, and if that's something we could
It's gonna be in the
take
80s later this
advantage
week.
of
Yeah.
and pull those out, if that's all right with the board, or do you wanna leave them in? Another, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you, you know.
Well, it's gonna be in the 80s. I think.
Right.
Let's take a look at what
I
the
think
weather,
Yeah,
I got
Thursday.
something
it's
to
sunny
weather
straight
for
through
for
the
the next 10
weekend,
days.
so I
Hold
don't
on.
know if it's something we wanna, do you wanna let it go through the weekend? Do you want us to pull them tomorrow if Doug's okay, you know what I mean?
I'm
He's
looking
not
at the
gonna
10-day
be available
forecast.
until later in the month, so
Oh, okay.
Okay,
if you wanna wait for him, if you wanna do it with him one more time, then that decision's made, it's not this week.
Okay, all right, I didn't see
You
that's
wanna
again,
do
I
it with
didn't
him?
know. Well, he's got the buoys, so if he's not around, I can't get, all I have the buoys for is Idlewild Beach, for when we had that issue with the float. So if I had the buoys, I don't necessarily need him. I think I could, Tony and I have got it figured out.
I don't think he leaves until Thursday. So, I'll give you his number,
Right, if
contact
you
him.
could shoot me his
But
number.
I'm just looking at next week, I have at least next Monday through Thursday, but he's gone then anyway, but the temperatures are still like in the 70s.
Right.
And no rain in the forecast, it's really nice.
So you wait,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
have
like
to
I,
wait for the buoys.
right, I've gotta get a hold of him to get the buoys
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah,
I see.
I'll give you his number and you can figure that out date-wise.
Right.
Okay, let me just write it down for you.
Yeah, you spill it out, oh, yeah, yeah. do it that way. So, can I move on?
Yep,
Okay, so since you mentioned Silver Lake Hardware, it reminded me, one time when I was buying stuff, I happened to look at the computer and saw a list of names who could purchase. Did we ever contact them
No.
and get names removed? Because I said that, some of those names, they're no longer around, that shouldn't be on there. And they said that's something the office would have to call about, and I didn't know if that ever happened.
I
Okay, I
did
just-
contact a couple of vendors,
Okay,
but I
thanks.
can't think of offhand who it was.
Okay, that's just something I thought about, just when you mentioned
There was
Silver
two of
Lake.
them that I contacted, but I can, reach
Right,
back out to them, it's
okay.
not a big deal.
so who do you think should be able to pick up stuff at Silver Lake Hardware? Jeff, obviously,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Tony?
Tony,
Jeff or Tony,
and that's it?
that's it.
Yeah.
should be it.
And I think I had to add Tony.
Right.
You're already on there.
Yeah, I've been on it, but I
Right.
mean,
So it might be fixed already,
I think it might be fixed already,
just with your
but
memory.
I'll
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
find out.
because they ask your name and who you are.
Oh, yeah, which
just
they
like
should.
FW does and all that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I can, okay, so just,
Thank you.
there's that. I got a call into that Road 1 paving, about those couple of paving jobs, and Sunday. So I'm looking to hear Sunday paving, I'm looking to hear back from them. I gotta get Eugene, Permapave's name on that list as well. So try to get that going. I talked to Wood'a last week, cause he wanted to take a look at the grader doing some ditching. See how we kinda go about that process, and the grader through the brake code again. And it actually shut the machine down, because of this brake code. So Friday, Dale had come in and he took a look at it, was under there, he took some things apart and found it's a coil, a magnetic coil that seems to be going in and out, which is causing this to happen. So he ordered that part with that other sensor, because that other sensor didn't get ordered for some reason, there was a mix up on that. So both those parts should be in, he's chomping at the bit to come in and replace them and get that thing back on the road with no codes, hopefully.
Are you not able to use the grader?
Right now, we're not using it, because if you're driving down a hill and that thing shuts down, you have no brakes.
Right.
Yeah.
We all know what could
That
happen
would take a
there.
house right off its foundation.
Wow.
So we parked it, and that's, and it was, we got going down Hotwell, and it was a shame, but.
Okay.
So we've been doing, what we've been doing, digging ditches with the backhoe. We're into we got that area prepped on 22 Aspen this morning, and I'm gonna go back, we're gonna get some hot top, we're gonna patch that culvert in and try, in that ditch line there. And we're gonna try to do that spot on Chicorowa as well today.
This is with the coal
No,
mix?
we're gonna use hot top.
Hot
for
top.
this. Yeah,
I'm gonna jump in here,
yeah,
I was gonna ask if we could get you to join us when we go to 78 Oak Ridge Road
Yeah.
on the S turn.
Yep,
And there's a place that has holes at a critical point
Yep.
in a driveway entrance. Do you think that that could be part of this round of hot top? Or do you want to use cold patch on that? or-
well, we took a look at that, and come up with that's probably the possibility of what's going on over there with those holes in that berm. So I think we were gonna clean those out and put some coal patch in those. This is a hot top, you kinda gotta work fast, and it's, you know, getting it set with this and that, and, we don't know what we're gonna have left over, you know, so, I mean, we've got a plan for that, but we'll meet up there as well.
Another thing is, does that whole berm need to get elevated a little bit?
That's a tough one, because now we might not, they might not be able to get in the drive. You're gonna be bottoming out.
I'm sure
coming
they
up.
don't want
Up
it
and
too
down.
high.
Right,
Yeah.
and then how much are we gonna build up on the
And
other
what
side of that?
I don't know if they have their driveway plowed or whether they take care of it by hand because it's not that big.
Right, I'm not sure either.
You've never seen a drive,
I believe it's been plowed, but they probably could be a little bit of both, depending on the storm. Somebody might
Uh-huh.
plow it from time to time. On the bigger storms, I've seen the cars moved.
so we'll leave it that you try to get those holes filled anyway.
I think that's a start with the problem, is to get that cleaned up and patched in and repacked, you know what I mean, and go from there. Because I think that the water's getting in those holes, and you could see where it's jumping out of those holes into those grooves. They've created those grooves.
Do you think we should bring some gravel up there too?
I do.
Okay, let's do that. If you guys haven't seen it yet, other than the pictures that I sent
No,
you?
I actually walked up the other day and took a close look
Good
at
for
it,
you.
and something was at odds with what you told us last week, and I was a little confused, but I talked with Jeff about it yesterday, so I'm a little clearer, but I'm still unclear. I guess we all kind of are as to what really is the best solution for this. We're still in that trying to figure it out phase.
So you're meeting up there today?
We're gonna go up and look at it, and part of the issue could be the way that driveway was installed above them, where they paved the entire frontage of, and whether we could do something that catches some of the water coming out of that and gets it off the road and down the hill before it even gets to their
Yeah.
driveway.
Yeah, like I said, we could take a look there. Tony and I did take a look, and
Then she also thinks that it's coming across the road,
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I was just wondering.
and so I wanted to bring a gallon of water up there.
Take a look.
That won't be
Yeah.
enough. There'll be the water truck there to,
we have done
No,
some
you
work.
can see how,
yeah.
you
Let's
pull
get the
a little
water
bit down,
truck.
watch how it runs.
We
You
could,
get an
we could.
indication of how it flows up
We
there.
did some work on the other side about a month ago, to try to keep the water from staying on that side, because it had been going across the road. I've had to blow the silt off the road a few times, and I haven't had to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that solved that problem. Again, but you know,
I
again,
think the only way to solve that is to blast at that rock on the
well,
other side.
unfortunately, the ledge on that
Or
side,
hammer it.
we did get the turnout cleaned out above the turn, up where it turns to gravel, and that, you know, again, that stops a lot of water from going down the road and taking it out, so that goes into the turnout there and goes into the woods. So we did do some work reshaping that ditch line as best as we can. Again, like you just said, the ledge hampers you to as much as you can do over there.
I think it would be cheaper to pave their driveway than it would be to blast the ledge across the road.
Blasting ledge isn't easy.
No, and bringing the machine up, if you did it with a hammer, bringing the machine up to do it would wreck the road.
Right.
Oh.
But I think we got a plan as far as getting those holes filled in at first, and that's gonna stop, I can't say all of it, but I mean, I
That
think,
needs to be done, so if you, whenever you do that, whenever you're ready, if you're already hot topping, do that and the gravel, and we'll still go up and look at it.
right.
I don't know whether you wanna, might be difficult to coordinate Jeff being up there at the same time, because we're gonna do other driveways.
Mhm.
4 of them all told today, if you count 78 at Oak Ridge. 'Cause
62
you
Oak
were-
Yep.
Ridge,
78,
47
22.
Hutwell.
Yep,
I'm not sure if you guys needed to go to Chicora.
we do, we haven't
Okay.
done the final.
All
22,
right.
yeah.
So 4 of
So
them right
we
now?
got 4 of them, yeah.
So it would be great if we could time it that we're at the S turn at 3.
Right, you make a phone call and we'll go from there type of thing, and, you know,
So we're gonna continue this meeting, I should have said that in the agenda. We're gonna continue this to do the road inspections, the driveway inspections.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So we can
Yep.
take a break and kind of push it later into the afternoon.
Yeah.
So that we're getting Jeff at the end of his
Mhm.
Okay,
day.
yeah.
That's what we'll do.
okay.
so, so that's on the agenda today. The grader, Doug. We've been laying, there were some rough spots we noticed after the weekend. The corner of Little Shore and Middle Shore got a little rutted out. We fixed that up with some gravel. And when I say all these spots that we cleaned up and fixed up, I've got them marked with the usage and all that gravel on another sheet of paper. But Little Shore and then there was Little Shore and Geneva, that corner around there was getting rutted up pretty bad, so we cleaned that up. And we've also started backing up the gravel to the hot top this time of year, that transition, so it's a smoother transition with the plow, so there's no lip. So we started doing some of those, and we cleaned up the parking lot at Hutwell yesterday with some gravel.
Huh.
Big Loop and Interlaken are getting potholish.
Yeah,
It's hard to see them because it's
the pine
the
needle.
spotty shadows.
Right.
It's like camouflage, you can't see
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, those are some roads we could, that aren't so bad as far as, I mean, there's not a lot of gravel on them, there's not a lot of rocks in them either, so we could, get them blown off and grade those when the grader is back.
I didn't know the grader was out of commission, that's,
Right.
yeah.
And digging some culverts. You probably seen we stone lined that ditch coming down Aspen to Appenvale there. We did that a couple weeks ago.
I saw you ditching it, I didn't know it was stone line.
Yeah, we put some stone in the bottom end of that ditch and just the regular digging some culvert pipes out.
So we wanna document that, right, for FEMA?
Yeah, I've got that all written down. And then I don't know what we're up against with the drawdown for the dam. Is that something that's coming up soon? Or did we pull a board
October.
anytime
It's October.
soon? Okay. But yeah, and the trucks all got to go in for stickers. So one at a time, I'll be bringing them in for inspection
Inspections,
stickers.
okay.
Yeah,
They're due by the end of October also, right?
they're due this month.
This month? so-
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I have.
Okay. Anything else for Jeff?
No. And then I think regardless whether work gets done up at that, upper part of Oak Ridge, we don't have any major weather in the next 10 days or so.
Yeah,
But if it
unbelievable.
happens, we need somebody who needs to race up there and get some video and see what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, if we don't put leftover hot top in there today, we are gonna get some patch to do some stuff. And what we thought about the patch, if we have leftover, that's stuff that we're gonna store in some 5-gallon buckets and just keep it in there, and that stuff will last all winter long. That stuff, like I said, as long as we keep it warm in the shop, that stuff's nice stuff. In the winter time, holes start occurring and stuff like that. So we
You
are
need more
gonna.
plastic pails?
I've got a few at home, but yeah, we've got a few. What, do you have some?
I have some.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what we come up with, what we lay out, and what we'll have left over. But we did that the last time we got some.
I'll break 3 of them down, I think.
Yeah, that's perfect, yeah. Because that does come in handy, that stuff lasts. And like I say, buying that stuff in the bag from Lowe's is a waste. So we'll do it this way.
Let's see. I guess that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
We'll see it. Oh, sorry, I've made a few phone calls and
Oh,
on the applicants, there is some interest.
Good.
I am meeting with somebody this afternoon. I think they're gonna try to get here 3:30 or something like
Yeah.
that.
That's got the priority.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that wins.
okay.
So, I mean, when you said 3 o'clock, I mean, yeah, if I can make it, depending on what time he's planning to get here. But there are a few small irons in the fire, I
Good.
hope.
Good.
All right, and the
Good to hear.
individual you and I discussed yesterday, I'm gonna give you his number.
Yeah.
And I would have you contact him directly.
Okay,
Like I said, he didn't get back in touch with me, but he seemed to be interested, so
Yeah.
it's worth following up.
yeah, absolutely. He give me,
Feel him
you
out.
know, whether he wants to come by and take a talk
Yeah.
or a look-see around. Okay, that sounds great. Enjoy the weather.
So we'll see you this afternoon, maybe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
See ya.
Thanks.
So at 9:25, we'll look at scheduled public appearances. There are none. So 9:25, we'll see if the administrator has something to report.
Nope.
And at 9:25, we'll move on to old business and signature items, and we'll discuss Dubois and King's proposal for
Yep.
Como Val.
the Como zone. You're entering the Como zone.
The Como zone, yes.
When I looked through it, I thought, I'm glad that you're on the board to see how proposals from engineering companies used to look that included drawings,
Mm.
if you saw that, in bid packages.
Yeah.
Yes.
The nonsense that went on in the last 2 years didn't resemble anything like this proposal.
Fresh in.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Just came in, just popped up.
so this is an email from Larry Sodano.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna report that I hadn't heard back from him and would have just got it. And, should I read it?
Yeah,
Okay, what are we talking about?
The curb stops.
Okay,
You know, we were talking about,
all right, so
duplicating
we're
and
moving
getting
away
files.
from the engineer proposal, we're gonna talk about this.
it still has to
first.
do with the water system, and Larry Sedano used to be on the water committee.
yeah, her point is good, is that we're
Right.
at the topic right
Right.
now is,
Is Nick's,
so I'm gonna hold this back from you.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine, just wanted, I
Yeah.
didn't expect you to,
Just
just
saw it,
wanted
yeah,
to let you know
okay.
that you gotta apply,
Thank you,
fine.
Jennifer.
Yep,
So back to the proposal. So I'll make a motion for discussion that we approve the Dubois and King proposal, and I should say the dollar amount. And,
Sure, that's
bring that up.
14 something. Where was that?
is this something that you need to sign, give it back to him, or can I just?
You could probably just tell them that
Okay.
it was approved and it's in
All
the
right.
minutes.
Yep,
And if you need, it's 14,000 something. I have the.
I got it, I'm
scrolling
bringing it up
down.
right here.
mhm,
Okay, so the total amount was, keep going. It's in here somewhere. I'm looking at the proposal right now. Oh, there's a lot to this.
it's somewhere.
It's, well,
$14,900,
Yep,
including
right there.
expenses, but not limited to permit applications and fees.
Yeah,
It's under professional fees?
yep,
Okay.
right here, professional fees. But then there's additional services and so on.
So I'll say again, 14,900, including expenses,
mhm,
but not including permit application fees. And I don't think he mentioned meeting them, but that's just maybe standard language.
mhm.
And there was
Right.
also surveying, right? Somewhere, that would be an addition.
The following services have not been included at this time. Number one, any work to modify the drawings provided or provide documentation based on decisions by the district which results in changes.
Mhm.
Bid advertising, full-time construction observation, construction administration, including meetings, review of shop drawings, contract repair. So he didn't say surveying in that.
But it says under scope of services, field survey of Como Street to identify right-of-way area and collect topographic information of visible surface features.
mhm.
That's not surveying the road, I don't think.
Right, that's just field survey of Como Street, he said. So, I know there's areas that go beyond that.
So our conclusion is the actual surveyor's services that he's hiring are included in this price?
It sounds like it,
I thought so.
yeah.
Because he says that upon approving this, the surveying starts in
Right.
his email.
Yeah, that's C2 under scope of services.
So we do need to sign this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, since there's gonna be additional fees which are unknown at this point, refresh my memory, the warrant article, the total cost was for this?
25.
25. So we still have about roughly 10,000 remaining from this big
Warrant article.
warrant. Yeah, okay. It's covered.
Further discussion?
Is that a laugh like, no, it's not, you're joking? Or yes, it is covered, I don't know. We'll see, I
Yeah, it
guess.
is.
Yeah. Well, no, we know this is very high on the, high on our priority list, so
Yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer, we move forward. Like you said, it's a very professional
Yeah, because
bid package.
without doing this, we can't create the bid package because we won't have all the information.
Correct.
So,
You mean like the template?
well,
Going
what
forward?
will be on next year's warrant.
Yes.
What this does, by putting this PRV in with its metering capability, it's gonna let us know how high the priority is to do the major project, which is
Right.
running the 4-inch pipe from St. Moritz down to.
Down. You're right.
So we learned to make this the first step,
Yep.
Mhm.
and we're actually getting a piece of the piping done in the
Correct.
process.
Which is good.
And if I understood, another objective of this project going forward is that once this PRV pit is designed, it's going to become a standard for any future
That's
ones.
right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we don't have to recreate
This
the
is an
wheel.
investment in the design of several of these things,
Correct.
not to be completely duplicated again in cost
Right.
Exactly. Don't
And bid package.
recreate the wheel.
and bid package.
Yeah.
Right.
Because in the past, I've taken bid packages for projects we've done and used them again. I just modified them and
Mhm.
worked perfectly. So the vote is to authorize this 14,900 or not. Do you want to authorize it? How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
No brainer.
Okay, so at 9:33, we go into commissioners' reports. So I'll start by talking about FEMA. We're supposed to have a meeting like this morning at 11, and I told them we meet Tuesday morning, so I can't do that. So I think the next one's gonna be the standard one
Mhm.
at Thursday
Thursday.
at 11. And I've been copying you on emails back and forth, and you see that we've signed off on the descriptions of the
Mhm.
damages.
Yes.
So you've seen that one of them said whether we wanted to pursue mitigation. And by signing off and saying we don't want to do mitigation, that means that we don't want to do projects that added to these fixed roads that prevent future damages and extend the process of getting closure to these projects. Except I'm telling them I do want to leave mitigation opportunities with FEMA open for Grissom, the Grissom culvert.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you saw the response that's gonna require submitting all kinds of information to them as to, okay, what's the description of the project you wanna do, how much is it gonna cost, and how long is it gonna take? So I'm kinda like, I wanna close up the July storm
Mm.
with all the roads and all the culverts and all the ditching,
The
and then
Grissom.
turn to that.
Mhm.
And I've been telling them, this is contingent on probably making a warrant article to raise funds to start the project and have FEMA reimburse us. I don't know enough about mitigation. That's gonna be a major thing that I wanna have them talk about this Thursday to me. I found out that there's a ton of videos on YouTube on explaining FEMA projects, but none of them focused in on a municipality and mitigation on this that I could find so far. So that's where FEMA is. So the Grissom culvert is still in play with FEMA until further development. While thinking about this Grissom problem, what's always on my mind is the water main that's running through that damaged culvert area, the closed road area. And how if we got a huge rainstorm and the culvert's in less condition to be able to handle it now than it used to be, then we could have the same thing happen again. I want to start discussing closing the loop of the water main on Bergdorf. A few years ago, I believe the previous boards let a contractor run a 2-inch water main from where it used to dead end on the west end down the road away from the big culvert at the last house. And when Habitat for Humanity built a house closer to the Bergdorf culvert, they paid to have a water main run from where it used to end, way down the road,
Mhm.
closer to where the culvert is, where the new house went on, up on the hill above the culvert.
Closer to Gretchen?
Aspen.
Aspen, okay.
So that's exactly what the point is. If we put a 4-inch pipe from Aspen to where the current main dead ends, even though the rest of it is not 4-inch, the system is improved efficiency no matter where you put larger pipe in. The flow is increased even if it's not the whole way. Fluid told me that back in the 90s. So anywhere we go, we're putting a minimum of 4-inch pipe in, regardless of what's already there, what we're attaching to it. You just adapt down to whatever it's connected to.
Mm.
So I want to start you thinking about that. I want to bring it up with Ian and Nick, that we close that loop. And if we do close that loop, then we want to make sure we have isolation valves where we can close off Grissom
Yep.
on either side of the culvert. Now, there are isolation valves down Grissom that they used when the pipe got wiped out. But I want to make sure we have an isolation valve that when we shut it off, none of the houses are shut off. I believe the isolation valve doesn't let the houses closest to the culvert continue to get water if we shut off Grissom. So I want to be able to shut off Grissom so that now we can reduce the cost of anything we do there, including eliminating that road altogether. And the fact that we don't have to do temporary water lines because the whole area loses water if anything happens there, or even if we want to do construction.
Right.
So kind of like, I'm thinking, I'd like to hear from you guys and from Nick and Ian that yes, it does make sense to improve the efficiency of the water system in that area with a 4-inch addition. Everything gets better because now there's 2 ways the water comes into that area. The new way is more efficient because it's a 4-inch pipe.
So right now, water's coming
All of
uphill
it has to
of
go through that
Grissom.
dead culvert.
Right.
So it's uphill of Grissom, cross Grissom, down to Bergdorf right now,
I believe it comes off Aspen,
right?
down Grissom, through the culvert area, and feeds Bergdorf, Constance, Granville, all of that.
Okay, so we're eliminating that middle pipe and just giving a new way
Both
for
of them will
water
be
to
in
get to.
operation.
Right.
But if we put the isolation valves in, at any point we want, we can just shut that off and dig that whole thing out, which if we fix the culvert, we have to do that. And if nature takes it all away, we have to do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
And now we have a secondary way that keeps feeding water into that area.
Gotcha.
And even if it wasn't a problem with Grissom, it's an improvement to the water system to do that anyway. Closing
Right.
any loop is the goal here, everywhere,
Yep.
if possible.
Okay.
So think about that, I'll bring that up again soon.
So
Good.
putting in the 4-inch main from Aspen onto Bergdorf, that's gonna be a warrant article then, right?
Depends
We'll have to
on,
go look at the funds we have.
Yeah.
If,
A water extension line, you mean, like something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
and if we can get a ballpark, maybe at the end of the month, on what it would cost, then we might see whether it could be even done this fall.
yep,
Okay, so we could expend what's in the water extension fund for this project.
mm-hmm,
Gotcha.
So, that's FEMA and that's Bergdorf. We covered the Como PRV, we covered Marjorie's driveway issue, and we're gonna do that this afternoon. The only thing I have is the list of stolen and lost, damaged and stolen, lost
items.
items from the Department of Public Works. It's on my to-do list is to take the handwritten notes and type them into an Excel spreadsheet.
Mhm.
I'm not getting that done. It's like, been a long time, and,
You wanna pass them on?
Give it to me, I'll do it.
yeah,
I just
I was gonna say, could we hire somebody that has a computer at home just to do this job?
as I recall.
How many
the
items
li-
are on this list?
I think it's a
that-
couple of pages of handwritten.
It's just a couple pages, just
Oh.
needs to be transcribed over into a spreadsheet. But there's a continuation of that too.
Yes, then you have to go back and review it with Jeff and
Right.
Tony and things
Oh.
that, they
Yeah.
came up with things after that list was handwritten.
Okay, I mean, I got a lot of things this month, but I could have that done by the end of the month, no problem.
Okay.
And there's also a continuation of that I want to discuss, but that may need to be discussed in a non-public forum. And you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I probably have a copy of that list, but give me another copy just to make sure.
I will.
Because I was on yellow, I remember it was on yellow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
list.
it's
yellow.
not at the
It was all
office.
handwritten, it
I
was
have-
like 3 pages.
I have a photocopy of
That's what I
the
have.
original yellow list.
I
Okay.
don't know where the original yellow list is.
Back-
We looked-
back to Jeff.
Between us three, we have
It
it.
went back to Jeff.
Oh, it
Yeah.
did go back to
It was
Jeff.
his handwritten notes.
Okay, between the four of us,
gotcha.
we have it. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about that. We'll-
Then we can make another copy when you
no,
bring
I'll
it
just
back.
put it
so we
onto
can
an
put it in
Excel
the file if you want.
spreadsheet, and everybody will have a copy of that.
Great, thank you, that's great. So that's all I had to report.
Okay, my report. I'm a little bit concerned, I think we need to speed up the whole process of getting to a credit card instead of a debit card. I know that was the intent, so that all services that we get that require to be paid that way are on a credit card versus a debit card. One to prevent, safety from the crap we went through back in February, March. But also, one of the items I took up for action was, looking for just new phones for our DPW guys. And there's two things that need to be done. One, that the point of contact administrator needs to be changed at Spectrum from Nancy to Jennifer, but that's pretty minor. And the other one is when we purchase these phones and put them on a plan, that they go to a credit card account.
And do we know where we submitted an application, I believe, right? Do you know if we did? You don't know
See,
if
I
we
don't
did?
know. I don't know where that stands.
No,
I thought
We'll find
Dinah
out.
said she was
Dinah's
taking care of that.
handling
Yeah,
I know the intent was to get a credit card,
She mentioned
Anything
that she
that's
was
on
gonna try to
debit.
get a status, but then I never heard anything.
yeah, transfer
Yeah, I
it over.
believe she submitted it.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Because again, the
I'll check on
comfort
that.
level was, they pop up and it's already paid for without us, we haven't really approved it. Whereas at least on a credit card, we're going through the whole approval process, but it has yet to be paid. I kind of like that process flow versus,
Is the plan to get rid of the debit card altogether?
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
I
So we'll
think
follow up with that.
they're problematic, yeah.
Could I say one thing that I should have said? And then you can continue. The cyber insurance thing, you saw
Yeah.
emails on that?
Yes.
Oh,
I wanted to explain it.
Primex?
I put a number
Primex.
in. The language of what you need to submit is very strange. It says total operating budget. So I took the total operating budget out of the warrant that we approved, and you saw it was a $790,000 and change. Then I went
But there
and
was
put
a-
it in and looked at the history of what went in, and the previous 2 years, the amount that was put in was not over 900,000.
They included warrant articles.
No,
No?
I don't think they did.
What?
We're back in the language that they instructed you to put in for the cyber insurance said, put in the total operating budget. Total operating budget is the operating budget without warrant articles.
okay.
And then it says, and the fund is the general fund.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way the sentence is constructed, they're not making it clear that they want you to take the operating budget as voted in the warrant article, just the operating budget, not warrant articles, and take the general fund amount and add those two together, and that's the number they want.
What is the general fund?
I don't
unassigned
know.
Now I'm
balance.
confused. What?
Too.
Does that include the water?
Well,
Is it operating in water?
then you go, so that had me go to the 2022 audit,
Yeah,
because we
Right.
don't have a 2023
not
audit.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yep.
begged the question, you saw me right?
Now I
Yeah.
think I know where this is going, okay.
So if you go to the audit, if you look under where the auditor says general fund,
Yeah.
the general fund is the total of the funds, including the unassigned fund balance. It has the assigned funds in there also,
Oh, so the capital reserve amounts.
which is very interesting. Is I don't know what the
Oh.
actuary for the insurance company is doing with this number, other than just kind of getting an idea of the size of the entity. Because it makes no sense if you looked at the details of what makes up the general fund. That's not money that's accessible to us necessarily. And because we're using 2022, our number isn't accurate because things happened to it in 2023.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the best I had. So I added from the 2022 audit the best number I could get as the description of the general fund, and I came up with a total that was a little over $1 million.
I saw that, and that's, and I saw you were referring back to the audit reports, and having reviewed the past couple of years of our audit reports we do have, they don't separate operating from water, it's all together.
Well, they do.
They do, but nonetheless, at some point, it's all together.
I didn't include water.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not.
Okay, so it's operating fund, then unassigned fund balance?
Yeah.
They said
Which is like restricted
the
cash
general
account?
fund.
General fund.
Yeah,
So I took the general fund out of the operations, and that's the number I used.
Okay, now I'm lost again, but I think.
We need to have the
Yeah,
2022
yeah.
audit in front of you. to make-
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly, but I seem to recall in the audit report, there was like a total number for like, everything.
There was.
Yeah.
There is.
I didn't go that far down.
Okay,
I took their definition, the few words there, the general fund of the for the total operations. I used those words to say, that's not the water then.
Right.
right, of
That's
course.
not, that's not even in their column, it's a separate column over here.
right.
And I didn't take the total at the bottom because it adds those two together, and I took the lowest number in the column of general funds, and that's what I used.
Okay.
355,000, I think. And that number's too high, I believe, for where we really are now, but I don't have the audit to prove that.
Right.
Okay,
Now back to you.
back to me. Okay,
We didn't talk about Sedano either.
right. Well, then I'll make that part of mine. We
Okay.
can read that out. All right, so
Okay.
I covered the credit card issue, so we get the phones, new phones that the guys really need, which have decent cameras and video, so that when those major rainstorms happen, that we need video documentation on to what's going on with our roads. They can do it if neither of us can run out and do it.
And
at
you
the
have
time.
all that data on the type of phone and the whole bit.
Yeah,
Put it in order.
there were two types of phones. They're not terribly expensive. They can be built into the price, the monthly price. And they're perfectly good. They're perfectly good. I don't have that on me right now.
I know,
But
right.
yes, I already went to Spectrum and spec'd that out. Okay. Then the other one was, again, I think needs to be in a non-public, but it's related to the DPW list. And, okay, Larry Sedano. All right, so I'm gonna get back into. All right, so Mark, you wrote to Larry saying, I'm writing you because the Board of Commissioners is raising the priority of securing and improving the curb stop card system. Would you have a copy of the file that has the scanned image? And Larry just reported back saying, I have only 1 or 2 scans of curb stop cards. I do have location data in a spreadsheet and MS Access database. The drive of that info is in Madison, and I can access it this weekend. And yes, I would be happy to help in any way I can on water system improvements. So Larry is a terrific resource, having been on the prior water committee, and I'm glad Jerry has some of the data, as we kind of suspected it wasn't going to be complete, but
Right, but at least
we're putting together a puzzle, basically, to
Right.
try and get a complete system, or as complete as it's ever going to be.
Do you know how the data is, like how we just get it?
You said it's in Microsoft Access.
I do have a location in a spreadsheet too. And is the MS Access, is that one of those legacy things, one of the prior commissioners who used that database versus?
I believe,
Uh-huh.
no, I believe
Yeah.
that Larry took the raw data and made his own Access database out of it.
Okay, because we were.
Because previous commissioners put it into SQL Server,
Okay,
which bound it into uselessness.
yes, okay. And even one of the other water committee people, Larry Leonard, was just ranting and raving, everything should be in Excel, everything should be in Excel for the water system. I had to agree with him with that, and I think you did too.
Yes,
Okay,
because the federal government, when they were fixing the lead pipe projects in Detroit, everything was in Excel. They don't do anything in anything that,
everybody knows how to use Excel, there's no real special.
it's very portable.
Yeah,
Right.
very portable and very easily manipulated and learned and used and all the good stuff.
So I'll follow up with Larry Sodano, and I need to get those books out of the office up to Minuteman Press for a quote on copy.
Okay, I'm finished with what I had to say on my reports.
Okay. So, first thing we have listed here, is the draft letter for 48 Adelboden.
To fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you, I thought his response was not 100% accurate.
So did you,
So
did you
we
have
wanna-
any comments on the draft?
Oh, no, I was good with it.
Okay.
There's a few minor changes that need to be made on it, just kind of verbiage.
Okay.
So do you want to do a contingent approval?
Yeah.
Make the changes later today?
Yes, I can do
Yes.
that and forward it to you.
Or do you want to
see
hold
if you
off and do
agree.
it, approve it? We can approve it later today
Mhm.
at the continuation of the
Sure.
meeting.
Yes.
Let's do that, okay?
Yes. Okay, so that'll have some changes.
Mhm.
But we should make a motion to approve it with upcoming changes.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
All right, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I walked up there a couple days ago, and he has done some work. but I think that was after our guys did work on the main, on the
And I
main
meant to
road.
ask, do you know where that material came that the DPW used? Is that
All that
recycled?
sand down?
Is that recycled?
You know, that's a good question, I don't know.
I think it is,
I think it was.
Yeah, I think they did.
which
They-
is great.
Which-
They
good.
did, they did a really good job.
Yeah,
But I noticed some machinery up on DeFeo's property
Yes,
that
I
that
s-
he,
Uh-huh.
he has done some mitigation work compared to, I took another video prior to that to try and document the fact that his initial letter was, it was all natural erosion coming
Yes,
uphill from his
yes.
property, was not one of, yes, that did happen, he was
Yeah.
correct that, but not 100%, because his driveway contributed big time also. It was two streams of water
yes,
coming running downhill onto our roads.
Right.
But there is no driveway application or.
correct.
Right, I understand that, but
Yeah.
I've documented that both,
So you can even leave that out.
yeah,
Yeah,
The fact that there's no driveway application is a driveway with a culvert installed.
yeah.
What up with that?
What's up
Right.
with that? Yes.
mm-hmm,
Okay. So did we all say aye to that one?
yes.
Aye.
Okay. All right, then I did a letter for revoking.
Mhm.
And I think I came up with 13 that we haven't heard from yet.
13.
Driveway applications that we sent,
13 driveway
revoke,
applications.
that we
gotcha.
sent,
Yeah.
It's either
Expired letters?
8 or
Yep.
9, I don't, 13 I think is,
is high?
yeah.
Good, good.
Okay.
I'm hoping
The
it's
lower
less
the
than
better,
that.
but still.
Yes.
There are ones that we've gotten no
Right.
response to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah, I have
So I
8
was
of them. in a-
thinking that we would revoke their permits at this point, since they haven't reached out, since we reached out to them and offered them the option for a renewal or an extension, and they have not reached out to us to accept or to do
Mhm.
anything with it. So at this point, these are couple of them are 2 or 3 years expired.
Correct.
So I'm thinking we should revoke them, anything that currently exists. So I did
Concur.
a revoke letter for those driveways, if you guys had a chance to look at it.
So, do you want to, at a later time, vote on each driveway as to a revoke letter?
Yeah, we'll have to identify
We can do that,
those
I
ones
think that's
specific.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And could that be done later today? Or,
Yeah, I got the list.
so maybe what we'll do is start at the office before we go up for driveways and
Okay.
take care of things like this.
Okay. All right. So then we're gonna be seeing 62 Oak Ridge, which was a person that has reached out to us saying that they wanna make some potential changes to their driveway, but they're not sure what's okay and what's not. I don't think we actually have a driveway permit
Application?
application for these people yet.
no, we do not.
But one of the things that was mentioned on the request was widening. So we're gonna have to look at it to see whether or not there's room to widen. If it's a 18-inch, an 18-foot driveway, then they can go up a couple feet.
Yeah,
If it's a 20-foot, there is no room for making it wider, so I think that's something we should put eyes on, so that we can get back in touch with this person and let them know, yes or no, any of the initial changes that they're suggesting.
Okay.
So that's why I put that one for us to look at. The other two that we're gonna be looking at, or the other ones we're gonna be looking at this afternoon, will be 47 Hutwell for an operations permit, and 2 Chicora Review for its final operations permit.
Great.
Is 47 the one on the corner of the
Uh-huh.
Sarnin?
No,
No,
What's 47 Hutwell's?
down the end of Hotwell,
the very end of Hutwell?
the one we've been working on for a long time.
Oh, Ed Mail.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
did I have anything else? else on it. Yeah, there was one driveway, and I'm thinking it was to Adelboden, where there was evidence that probably from plowing last winter,
Oh, the
There was-
the new construction house.
I think that one's 22. That's why I'm not exactly sure which
On the
one
corner
it
of Bristol
was.
Stock? The corner of Bristol Stock and Adelboden?
Drink the
Yeah,
water.
yeah, and the
Erosion at the end.
Yeah.
there's erosion
That's
at the
two.
end of the
That's number two.
driveway, so that's number 2?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll put a letter together for them, because we haven't done that yet, just to let them know that when they do their maintenance, they need to make sure that they're not interrupting the water's ability to get into the ditches.
Right.
Oh,
Which,
I
because
see.
right now it has that little lip on it that's stopping the water from continuing along the edge of the road.
So that was a contract build, but it's now in hand, they sold it to a private owner now, so
Yes,
it's
it's
their
sold.
responsibility, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'll do that one for next week. It'll be it's 2 Adelboden.
Yep.
What was the satellite image you sent?
That was the S-turn.
I was
Oak Ridge.
wondering what I was looking at. Okay, I'm trying to identify, because there's no address, there's nothing on it. What part of Edelweiss am I looking at here? Okay,
Yeah.
got it, all right.
That was to
Yeah,
show,
if you zoomed a little bit,
Yeah.
you can see the guardrail.
Oh, I
So
did
that's
zoom.
that's
but
what told me, oh yeah, okay, this is up at Oak Ridge.
I'm looking at the two structures in a second. Okay,
I think
I'm
the
not a
subject-
bird, so I don't recognize from that above.
I think the subject of the email said it was
Oh, did it?
the owner's.
How did I
Yeah.
miss that? Anything's possible. I probably
Yeah.
missed it.
Okay, and so other than, we'll be looking at these driveways, the other driveways this afternoon, that was all I had for today.
No, I don't see any address there on there. Just a
Okay.
satellite map. But okay, that makes perfect sense now. Yep.
That's Boswell's,
And that's the house with the driveway.
it's,
Yeah.
they paved the whole
Yeah.
front of it.
Mhm. The infamous. Well, when you walk up that thing, that's not even the worst turn. It's the turn down here that's a killer.
All set on
Okay.
license reports?
Yeah.
Yep,
So at 10:02, we'll go to correspondence. And there's a public hearing notice for a variance
yes,
with the town of Madison's zoning board of adjustment
Mhm.
for number 1 Little Loop Road. These people want to build a deck that is gonna be closer than 60 feet from the center of the road, is my understanding after reading that.
mm-hmm,
And we're notified because we own the road and we're the abutter.
yes,
Yep.
And I think the only thing, when I looked at it, the only thing I could think that we would have an issue with is if it was in the way of maintaining the road. And it's not, it's still far away from where we push snow. And I believe we'll leave it to the other resident abutters as to whether they have other issues with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see us saying no.
Yeah, the village
Yeah,
doesn't have a problem with it,
Right.
representing all the taxpayers.
right,
So, I guess we could put it into form of motion. I'll make a motion that we do not attend the public hearing. We have no issue with the variance being requested.
second,
All right.
All in favor?
aye,
3-0. No public appearances, public comments. You mentioned non-public session, do you think we need a non-public session at this time to discuss that issue, whatever it was?
Yeah, it's really just a 5-minute thing.
Under the category of reputation,
Yes.
so we'll make that motion? You go into
Second.
and go into non-public session under 91A, under the chapter for, under the section for protecting reputation. Needs a second?
Second?
Roll call vote, Nancy, how do you
Aye.
vote? What do you vote, yes?
Aye.
I vote yes, 3-0. Thank you, Carol.